The Federal and Vale Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Walking Shoe Company and powered by PSNA College of Engineering and Technology and Tucker EV Chargers. Run for bone and joint health on Sunday, December 7.
Bitter gourd juice for 7 days. Diabetes gone. Stop medicines after yoga. Diabetes fully reversed. My HbA1c is 5.6 without tablets. I'm cured of diabetes. You have seen the reels, read the forwards. But when the sugar levels drop, is diabetes really reversed or is it just a short duration change? Welcome to Second Opinion, where experts speak first. To what extent does diabetes reversal actually work? Well, for type 1 diabetes, there is no reversal. Type 2, that's about 80 to 85% of India's diabetes cases. And yes, remission is possible in this case. But remission is not cure. Moreover, diabetes management is individualized. If the HbA1c remains less than 6.5% without medicines for more than 3 months, it can be called a remission. But when the HbA1c is less than 5.7% without diabetes in a pre-diabetes state for more than 6 months, it can be a hope for a long-term reversal, but it also requires long-term lifestyle modifications too. Cure? Not yet.
If they are able to maintain the A1C less than 5.7 with a diet and exercise for a longer period, then we call this a long-term reversal. People should not think that if they just come to the HbA1c less than 5.7, they are completely without diabetes and they can eat anything. So this is a lifelong journey. This is a metabolic profile. They have to maintain it for a lifelong. So diet and exercise is a key part. So with that, they are able to maintain the HbA1c less than 5.7. That's good. That we call as long-term reversal or diabetes remissions. So when you detect diabetes, there is a 50% of the beta cell function is gone. But people consuming high calorie diet, our body cannot just do this properly. Our insulin cannot do this. And then also, when you keep on just increasing a high calorie in a diet without any physical activity, the insulin mechanism function is lost. That means the transport of glucose to the cell is disturbed because of the receptor is not allowing the glucose to enter into the cell. This we call as a insulin resistant. This is the main culprit for developing diabetes in the current era. So previously we thought genetic is one concern for developing diabetes, but now the environmental triggering factor, our lifestyle, so diet, exercise, physical activity, sleep and stress, all this are now the main reasons for getting diabetes.
ICMR India B 2023 study says that over 101 million Indians have diabetes and 136 million are pre-diabetic. But the direct trial report on the Lancet Diabetes showed that 46% of early type 2 patients achieved remission after losing 10 to 50 kg safely, which is done under supervision. It is important to note that diabetes can also cause a wide range of other illnesses and chronic health problems, primarily due to long-term damage to blood vessels and nerves throughout the body from consistently high blood glucose levels. It can affect the eyes, kidney, heart, cholesterol, and even cause skin-related issues. So, why is it important to focus on lifestyle measures to take control, achieve remission, or reversal?
The first one is the heart and the blood vessels. Somebody is having long-standing high sugar, then cholesterol starts accumulating faster in their blood pipes, blood vessels, and it keeps layering over inside the blood vessels, and the channel through which the blood flows becomes narrow and narrow. So eventually, after 10 years, 15 years, the person is at higher risk of heart attack or stroke. So that is one aspect. Second, cholesterol level may increase. There is a special type of cholesterol called small dense LDL that may increase. It may or may not show up as high LDL cholesterol in the conventional blood test, but the number of LDL particles will be more. Third thing is kidney. If sugar remains high for a long period of time, the kidneys will initially start leaking protein. That will be the first sign of kidney getting affected by diabetes. Eventually, the creatinine also may get start rising. That will tell us that the kidney is being affected in a definitive way. So, the kidney is one of the prominent organs to get affected by a long-standing diabetes. And fourth one is eyes. So, the retina gets prominently affected in diabetes. If you don't keep sugar under control and it keeps going on like that, then retina may get affected eventually. And the other thing which gets affected due to long-standing diabetes is nerves, especially the nerves in the toe tips. The person may start feeling some kind of tingling sensation in the toe tips and burning sensation in the feet. Reversal in the sense that it is understood today that we embark on a plan of dieting plus some exercise plus good lifestyle changes. The sugar level drops to near normal levels. We are able to manage with either no medicine or minimum medicine. So if it drops to that kind of level, we call it diabetes reversal. It is not exactly the same as cure of diabetes. It is more like we bring down the sugar level to a very meager level or manageable by bare set of medicines.
However, there are several myths that Karela cinnamon water reverses diabetes, but it only drops post-meal sugar by 10 to 20 mg per dl, which is temporary. HbA1c barely 0.2% and it's not reversible. If you have received forwards asking you to stop medicines, your kidneys, eyes, and even the heart pays the price. So what actually works and how can you achieve diabetes reversal? Let's hear it from the experts.
If father and mother are both diabetic, the genes are very strong. And so to achieve reversal or remission at that stage is more difficult because the pull will be towards diabetes. However, having said that, there is still 60% of the risk of diabetes is due to environmental factors where diet, exercise, increase in weight, stress, lack of sleep, taking certain medicines can increase the sugar. All these are contributory factors. So if all these are prevented, and if the diabetes is diagnosed at an early stage, let's say in the stage of pre-diabetes, it is easier to get it into remission. Just after the diagnosis also, if you're able to detect it, it's easier to bring it back to the stage of remission of diabetes. If you're on a very artificially lowered calorie diet or on a very extreme diet, what will happen is after 2, 3, 4 months, you will get fed up of that diet. You cannot continue to eat something which is a little artificial for you. And therefore, people tend to give up, they revert back, and the weight will come back, and the diabetes also comes back. So, better thing to do would be not to do extreme diets. So, we talk about the plate concept. The problem in India is that we all take too much of carbohydrate. Our own research has shown that if you cut down the carbohydrate by 5 to 10% and replace that 5 to 10% with protein, particularly from plant protein, then it is very healthy. It is sustainable in the long run. When you take a plate, the thali, where you're going to eat your food, fill half of that plate with green leafy vegetables, which are very low in calorie but very high in nutritive value. There are a lot of vitamins, minerals, B12, iron, everything is there in that. Quarter of the plate you keep for protein, and quarter of the plate alone you take carbohydrate. The main thing why we are treating diabetes is to have a long and healthy life despite diabetes. That is possible. That is guaranteed. If incidentally you're able to achieve remission for some time, for 1 or 2 years, it is good. So be it. Because remission is usually not permanent. Even with the most grilling of the diets and very strict diet and all that, it's usually only for a few months or 1 or 2 years. So don't focus too much on remission. Yes, if it occurs, it occurs. Otherwise, the focus should be how to have a long and healthy life despite diabetes.
Diabetes reversal is not a finish line. It's a daily choice. It is important to monitor your diet, do daily exercises, and test HbA1c every 3 months. Never stop medicines without your doctor's recommendation. And remember to always consult with a medical expert. That's all for this episode of Second Opinion.
The Federal and Vale Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Walking Shoe Company, powered by PSNA College of Engineering and Technology and Tucker EV Chargers. Run for bone and joint health on Sunday, December 7. Entry is free. All are welcome.